Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Tuesday, January 17th slate of NBA action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We do have only 4 games on, but hey, 4 games, small slate equals tons of value in some spots. So I'm really excited to dive into it. I think that we did find a couple plays here that have some really good value. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Before we did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 11,000 subscribers. We are currently less than 200 subscribers away at the time of recording this video. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So, just wanted to go ahead and say really quick, I did want to apologize for not uploading the last 2 days. It was just because I was traveling home from Texas the first day, so I didn't really want to make like a car video or anything. I just didn't really think that would be a really good idea. But then as of yesterday, I had to get my computer and everything set up, and with the game starting so early, it was definitely just strange. So I decided to just go ahead and put the plays on my Twitter and put them out on my community tab as always. So everything should be updated now. Everything should be ready to go. I'm really excited to dive into it. Pretty much going to be back to normal here, uploading videos every single day for the NBA. So I'm super excited to dive into it. We didn't really have a tremendous day yesterday, so let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap of that. So we did end up having our first play of the day. We had Bam Adebayo over 10.5 rebounds versus Atlanta at minus 125 odds. Unfortunately, this was the only one that hit for us. Bam Adebayo had a really good game. Ends up with like pretty much 3 rebounds in every single quarter. Finishes right with 13. So he had a pretty good night. Then we did take Jalen Brunson over 6.5 assists versus Toronto. Minus 105. Every time he passed the ball, it was into Randall. Randall would dribble it around and then just end up kicking it out anyway. So it was definitely not a night for Brunson to be passing the ball. It was definitely a night for him to score. I wasn't sure which direction to go with points or with assists, and he just really didn't pass the ball. I thought it was going to be a much better shot with the potential Gary Trent matchup, but that was not the way that it went. Jalen Brunson just had a really good night scoring the ball, had no reason to pass it. So then we did end up having Jonas Valanciunas under 27.5 points plus rebounds versus Cleveland at minus 115. I'll be honest, this was just a bad call by me. And the thing is with Joe Val, you know if he's going to hit his props or not by the first quarter. If you sit there and watch the first quarter of that game, Jonas Valanciunas goes crazy in the first quarter, and then he just absolutely slows down. It's just going to be a matter of how he starts off that game. It's going to be whether you win the bet or whether you lose it. Like if he's going to go over, if he's going to go under, is going to be determined by that first quarter. But he had a really good first quarter, finished with like 16 or 17 points plus rebounds, and then kind of just coasted and ended up hitting it late in the third, or right in the middle of the fourth, I believe it was. So we ended up going 1 and 2 on our plays, but I'm super excited. We have 2 official plays. We have our consensus play as well. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Into today's picks. So for our first official play of the day, our King's Kill Shot play of the day, we are going to be going with Joel Embiid over 31.5 points here versus the Clippers at minus 110 odds. I know that this is steep, but I really do think that this is a good spot. Joel Embiid has gone over in 7 out of his last 10 games. That's 70%. And 2 of his losses, he has still finished with 30 points. He just hasn't been able to get that extra bucket. I think he's going to be able to do that today. The Clippers do allow the 7th most points per game to opposing centers and the 6th most points per game in their last 3 games. So despite Zubac being a very good shot blocking center, he has still been giving up a decent number of points. And I think that this is a really good spot to target because it is going to be on the road. Joel Embiid has hit his over in 6 out of his last 8 road games. He's been really good to this number here on the road, and I know that the Clippers do have some good defensive pieces, such as Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Well, Paul George is going to be out of this game, and Kawhi Leonard, I think that if he is going to take any sort of a matchup, I do think that he's going to go ahead and help out on guys like James Harden or even like Tyrese Maxey. I don't think this is going to be a spot where we see Kawhi Leonard doubling the post, and even if it is, I think Joel Embiid can overcome that. I think that Joel Embiid is a monstrous enough center to be able to get things done, regardless of if Kawhi Leonard is going to be guarding him in the paint or not. I think he's still going to have a huge night. The shot volume is going to be there. I think it's going to be a tough spot for Harden, so I did lean his under, but I did lean his over in assists. So kind of however you wanted to look at it, but I think that Joel Embiid does have a monster night, and he has gone over in 3 out of his last 4 games here versus the Clippers. He's actually dominated them in the last 4, averaging 36.75 points per game in his last 4 games. He's been tremendous versus the Clippers, and I don't expect anything to change here. I think this is a really good spot here for Joel Embiid. I think he could have 35, close to even 40 points. So that is going to be our first official play of the day, our Kings kill shot play of the day. Joel Embiid over 31.5 points versus the Clippers at minus 110 odds. Now for our second official play of the day, we are going to be taking Anthony Simons over 20.5 points here versus Denver at minus 105 odds. Now he has only gone over in 4 out of his last 9, but he has finished with 2 hooks. So he's been very, very close to this number a very good number of times. But let's go ahead and do a little bit of line reading. Let's put on the little spectacles here and let's do a little bit of line reading, because if you take a look at Damian Lillard's assist line tonight, his assist line is 8.5. Currently, he has only hit this over in 1 out of his last 7 games. So why is this number so high? This seems like a smash spot that you'd want to take a Damian Lillard under in assists, because he has only hit this number 1 time in the last 7 games. But I think that this is going to be a trap for that. I think that he is going to go over in those assists, and it's plus like 120 right now. So I think that that is tremendous value, but I think a lot of role players step up in this one. The Blazers have lost 5 straight games. Their backs are against the wall. They're going to need a lot of people to step up, and I think the role players like Anthony Simons is going to be a perfect one to step up. Last matchup versus the Denver Nuggets, they've already played, I think it's 3 times this year already. But the last matchup versus the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray started off the game on Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard was then absolutely cooking this team. He had like a crazy number of points in the first half. He played really, really well in the first half. But then the Denver Nuggets decided to switch it up and put KCP on him, a much better defensive matchup than Jamal Murray. I think that they make those defensive adjustments early in this one. I think that we see KCP on Damian Lillard pretty much right out of the gate. I think that this is a really good spot here. I think they're going a lot of the defensive focus is going to be on him. I could see Simons and Jeremy Grant both hitting their overs today. I really do like both of those. But Lillard, he has had 30 plus in all 3 matchups here versus Denver. So with that being said, this just seems like a spot that they're going to make defensive adjustments. They're going to try to get Damian Lillard to pass the ball even more, and I think that Anthony Simons is really going to benefit from that. He has only gone over in 1 out of his last 3 games here versus Denver, but has an average of 26% on those 2 losses that he had. That's really poor, and Anthony Simons is a good enough scorer, a good enough shooter, good enough, driver of the basketball to be able to change that. And I think that number is just way too low. It's definitely not something that you see very often from him. I think this is a spot that he does step up and has a big night here for us. So that is going to be our second play of the day. Anthony Simons over 20.5 points here versus Denver at minus 105 odds. Now for our consensus play of the day, we are staying in the Blazers and the Nuggets game. Currently the Nuggets are 7-point favorites here. If you take a look at the injury report, it looks like for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray is listed as questionable. Bones Highland is also listed as questionable, and Jeff Green is listed as out. For the Blazers, they just have Gary Payton II listed as questionable. But other than that, their injury report is completely clean. And we do have, I'm going to save us all some time here, 5 cappers to 0. We are on the Blazers plus 7. I love this play. I would have made it official if it wasn't for the consensus play. Absolutely love this play, because I think that with the Blazers losing 5 straight, their backs are against the wall, as I had mentioned kind of already in the Anthony Simons play, but they're desperate for a win here. This is a win now spot here for the Blazers versus the Nuggets team that has played really well here recently. 7 points is just too much for a team that is really good on the road, such as the Portland Trail Blazers, and I really like the spot here. So that is going to be the consensus play of the day. Blazers plus 7 here versus the Nuggets at minus 110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are on the road to 11,000 subscribers. The videos will be coming back, and they will be very, very consistent. Once again, it's going to be an everyday thing, just because I had to go to Texas to watch my brother graduate from lineman school. But now that that's done, I'm back to every single day. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sanger signing out. Peace.